Hello! This is a non-technical introduction to the paper Production Networks and Stock Returns. On my left is a snapshot of the supplier-customer relationships between U.S. firms. As you can see, firms produce products that are used in long production chains. These chains constitute a complex production network that transforms raw inputs produced by a few firms at the top into final consumption products produced by firms at the bottom via multiple stages of production. So who is riskier? Firm at the top of the chains, or maybe firms at the bottom? And if there are differences in risk, why do they arise? And importantly, can you create an investment strategy that exploits this? Here's how the paper approaches these questions. Let's decompose a hypothetical production network into layers of production. The simple idea is that all firms in the same layer are separated by the same number of supplier-customer links from the bottom layer, which produces final consumption goods. For example, if firms A, B, and C produce final consumption goods, they are assigned to layer 0. If firms E and F are their direct suppliers, they are assigned layer 1. Firms H and I are suppliers of firm in layer 1, but not layer 0, and so assigned to layer 2. Okay, so let's set terminology. Vertical position of any firm is the minimal distance from that firm and final consumers, or equivalently, it is simply the layer that the firm belongs to. Now, say that we sort firms to portfolios based on their vertical position. The empirical pattern that we get is striking. There is a strong and monotone relationship between vertical position and average returns. As seen in the graph, by moving from left to right, the higher the layer, or the greater the distance of firms from consumers, and the higher the expected return is. Moreover, an investment strategy that longs firms with the longest distance to consumers in the top layer 5 and shorts firms with the shortest distance in the bottom layer 0 earns a return of 115 basis points per month. This is close to 12% a year and very sizable. Okay, but why does this happen? Is this mispricing? Well, no. Firms with high vertical position are, in fact, riskier. Their valuations are more cyclical. Let's think about that together through an example. Let's assume that Boeing supplies airplanes to Delta. Clearly, Boeing has a higher vertical position than Delta, and we want to explain why Boeing should, therefore, be riskier. Here's how to think about this. Assume that a new technological progress arrives. One example can be the invention of improved IT technology. Because of this innovation, both Boeing and Delta should become more productive. This innovation increases the valuation of both Boeing and Delta because it creates better growth opportunities for both firms. However, the technological innovation does not have an equal effect on both. In principle, it would make Boeing appreciate more than Delta. This is because the technological innovation would have a different impact on the installed capital of these firms. Here's what I mean. Delta has an existing capital, which is its stock of airplanes. Now, let's say that Delta's supplier, Boeing, became more innovative. Maybe it just launched a new airplane model. What would happen then to the value of Delta's existing capital? Well, it would drop in its value. If Boeing innovates, it inadvertently makes the airplanes that are currently owned by Delta to become old or obsolete. That would hurt Delta's valuation. This is what we call vertical creative destruction. An innovation by a supplier firm puts a downward pressure on the valuation of the assets in place of customer firms. In all, this force just means that technological innovation appreciates the value of Delta less than that of Boeing. And intuitively, this argument can be applied in a cumulative cascading manner to 3 or more firms in a chain. But wait, doesn't that make Delta riskier? Well, no. In finance, a firm's risk depends on how much its valuation moves with the macroeconomy. If technological progress arises, and Delta appreciates less than Boeing, it is considered a safer firm. And because Delta is a safer firm than Boeing, it should earn a lower expected return. In short, vertical creative destruction is actually a hedge. It shields downstream firms with low vertical position from appreciating too much in good times or from depreciating too much in bad times. This mechanism of vertical creative destruction has profound implications for asset pricing. It doesn't just explain the relationship between vertical positions and expected returns. It also bears implications for the risk of firms with more monopoly power for value firms and others. For example, did you know that the famous value premium is only concentrated among upstream firms, those with high vertical position? You can learn more about the empirical results, the mechanism, and its broader implications in the full paper. We hope you enjoy the read.